All right, everybody. Welcome to session two. It's so weird to say such small numbers with that. Um, who would like to give a recap?
So we were at the Blue and True Inquisitive Agency, and another blue character came in, fitting the theme, named Bendon Mall, who wanted us to find a man named Eliath, who was last seen in the Hive. He is like an old and scrawny but wiry looking man in blue tattered wizard robes, and I guess he doesn't change because that was given as part of the description. He has pure white hair and is nearsighted, so squints a lot. He was last seen in the Gatehouse or the Butcher's Block, and so we wound up collecting other people to help us go look for this guy, including Kadu and Chaz. And we would have. So I don't actually know if Dustin's character is from Ravnica, but my character, who is, would have recognized Aloxodon as potentially big from Ravnica. So I assume we know each other because I would have gone out of my way to make the acquaintance of Aloxodon. But we left word for him that, we could use his help and he should come meet us in the Hive. I don't know how he's going to find us in the Hive now because we're going to a new place. But we paid for a taxi to cut the time to get from the merchant area over to the Hive. And it was 4 jink for that. My character, and I forget which other character, got pretty sick on the way there and vomited all over the cab.
There was much
Uh,
vomit. Yes.
yes. So we were covered in vomit when we got to the other side. Kadu knew an extra place we could check, but I think we wound up going to the butcher's block first, where we were going to the blood pit, which is sort of a gladiatorial pit slash gaming den. And on our way there, we encountered this inert dinosaur that seems to be in like stasis or torpor or just, it's not dead, but it's not moving and doesn't seem to be animate. But it was called Behemoth, and Uthermath found that it was probably from Arcadia or Acheron, and we were all sort of fascinated by that. But then we went on over to the blood pit, trying to think, was there something in there? Oh yeah, yeah. No, wait. We
It's
met a Dabus who was tattooing something related, a symbol of Eoscar on the back of a shaved tabaxi, or possibly a hairless species of tabaxi. Hard to say. But then we went to the butcher's block, and there was, unsavory types in the bar, and I forget the name of the bar. I think it had a name.
uh
The
yeah, you
but
rolled on it. It was,
The the dazed wizard.
yeah,
oh yeah.
and that's where I met
Uh,
the I think it was a gnome or a goblin, I forgot. And
So first we met the ogre lady,
yeah.
Trunfeld Three-Teeth, and she sells information, but she wanted 20 jink for the information, and at least Ethermeth felt like that was a little too high, so we didn't wind up buying the information from her. We did order gruel. Maybe that was the 20. Maybe we paid 20 for the gruel. But
10.
anyway, okay. We paid for some gruel, and Kadu got meat hunks. She did not like that my character did not order the meat hunks. So we were not on great terms with her, but we left there and then we went to the blood pit, which had like a tent like structure to it.
Yeah.
And was essentially
I've
otherwise
warned that her price is going to go up the next time we go there.
right, but we just go in disguised as someone else and
Sure.
and say that we are also looking for this guy. Uh,
That's just gonna spike the price.
but it was in the blood pit. That's where we met the armless gnome wearing a monocle. How he got the monocle in, I don't know. I guess he does everything with his feet, but he was serving drinks with his feet, so he's fairly dexterous. He had said that there was some sort of shadow fiend that was looking to challenge the Lady of Pain and was going around collecting souls from people. And so people were disappearing. That doesn't necessarily seem to be directly related to finding Eliath, but nonetheless, it was, you suspect we should at least be on the lookout for being potentially attacked by this shadow fiend. And this gnome Felgar apparently saw the shadow fiend attacking someone in an alley. After not having found Eliath there, we went to the Gatehouse, the second place where Eliath was supposed to be found. There we met a bleaker named Keth'iri, who my character has a history with, since he essentially cared for my character and gave him a place to stay when I first got to Sigil years ago. And he said he wasn't aware, at least initially, if Eliath was at the Gatehouse, which is essentially like a sanitarium. So he said he'd go look to see, but in the meantime, he asked us to go and check on something. Uh, and we had to go to the mortuary of I don't remember what he wanted us to check on, and I didn't write that down. My notes end there. But we were glad to go like to the place where the dustmen congregate, and he wanted us to investigate something as a favor while he goes and looks for Eliath in the gatehouse.
So, sorry. Um, so Keth'iri suggested that you go to the mortuary because um, the people, many of the people that uh, Keth'iri and the Gatehouse serve are coming up dead. And but there's a lot of people in the hive that are coming up dead much more frequently than usual. Because I mean, there's all kinds of murders and, because of the high rates of disease and infection in a place like this, it's not uncommon for there to be, a number of deaths each day. Um, but even for the normal rate, uh, people seem to be dropping dead, and it seems to be more often the crazy people, which are referred to as barmies, or the drunks and the druggers, which are referred to as bubbers. And so that those being the two populations that the Gatehouse serves most, Keth'iri is quite concerned about these people as he considers them his wards. So he asked, not only did he suggest that you uh, look for Eliath at the mortuary to see if his name has been written into the dead book, but also he asked that you wait a while for him to provide you with names of individuals that they have served, to see if any of them have also ended up at the mortuary and to do some investigation with it. Keth'iri said that he needs about a day because their records are quite extensive. Um, and even though they are organized, because there are so many of them, that it will take him some time to identify whether Eliath specifically has been served at the Gatehouse. Um, to just get you some names of individuals that he suspects may be caught up in all of this. He wouldn't need so much time, but he'd probably at least need a couple of hours. Um, so that is why that he brought up the mortuary. Um, and then with regards to Dobrun, um, how did you guys leave? Like, what kind of message did you leave for Dobrun and where?
So we didn't really go into detail. I just mentioned in passing that since Dobrun is a Loxodon, that if I ever saw him, I probably would have taken an interest to see if he's from Ravnica. And since we're looking for people to help us in this search anyway, uh, that I would just leave a message, since apparently he wasn't home when we went there when we were collecting the others. So
So,
I would have
mhm.
mentioned, that we're either going to be likely at the Gatehouse or Butcher's Block.
So Dobrun, is your character from Ravnica?
Not originally.
Okay.
It's from Eberron.
Um, so that is interesting, and that might make you unique in all of Sigil, because Eberron's cosmology makes it particularly difficult for intersections between the Eberron cosmology and the cosmology of the Great Wheel, which is typically the representative cosmology of all the rest of D&D.
Right.
So you may be the one and only creature in the entirety of the Outer Planes from Sigil. Uh, so but nonetheless, you being a Loxodon, it's easy for Uthermeth to have
Yeah.
made that
Old Uthi.
distinction.
Yeah.
Um, so just to give you a little bit of picture as well, since you weren't here, the the city of Sigil is incredibly densely packed. When I think of Sigil, I kind of think of um, not as high into the sky, but the kind of density from like the Fifth Element with how packed those buildings are together. And because this is the city of doors, it's not uncommon for a single door to have multiple uh, places that it goes to based on the key that is used, which makes being in an apartment setting interesting because only one person can use a door at a time. Uh, because as long as it's open, nobody else can enter or access that particular space. Um, but also the windows are usually divided in a number of parts equal to the number of coterminous occupants. So that when a window is opened, it opens into that particular space, and if other windows are open, it allows for communication between those who also share that coterminous space. Um, Additionally, the way that Sigil, the geometry of Sigil means that when you look in two of the directions, you see massive walls creating buildings at very alien angles from what a typical person walking around on a flatter geometry might expect. Um, and then ultimately, it there is a space, a horizon then where the sky can be seen. But even then, when you look into the perpendicular directions, you see the same thing, but it folding into itself into a ring. And so there are only two sections of sky that you can see kind of cordoned off by the geometry of Sigil. Um, and uh, and so it is also incredibly densely populated, given that even for a city of this size, it can hold so many more occupants than would be expected for a place like this. Um, so given that, Dobrun, uh, you can go ahead and maybe summarize what you imagine your relationship might be with one or more of the party members, and then what you're doing at the time that you receive the message from Uthermeth to try and find them.
Are we part of like so I think I caught the beginning there was like the blue crew. Is there like an organization we're all a part of?
So Fisk and Ethermath are essentially inquisitives, detectives in their own detective agency. Chaz and Kadu, and I assume Dobrun, but we didn't discuss it. Chaz and Kadu, we were just recruiting to help us canvass the area and look for this guy. But you might be more tied to the detective agency than they are.
Okay. Um,
Yeah, so everybody knows at least one person in the party, which and when the and when Bendon Mall had requested the services of Blue and True, he indicated that he would be willing to pay additional gold for additional manpower because the speed and efficiency of the mission to find Eliath was of utmost most importance to him. He doesn't really seem like money is an issue.
Had it made. All right. So Dobrun is a. Do I have my share my picture? I guess my picture is on my character sheet. People can see it, but Dobrun
Let's
wears
see if I can share it.
simple travel clothes, and he's a loxodon, so an elephant, a bipedal elephant. And one thing that you would distinguish him from other loxodons you probably have never seen is he's got a blindfold on. So he walks around completely blindfolded. But when he does, he always knows where he's going. Um, I would say without having so what is who is Kado and Chaz?
Oh, you know what? That's actually a good point. Why don't
'Cause
we
I
all
don't
just
really know
go
anybody's characters.
yeah, let's all go through and kind of describe everybody's characters, and then kind of maybe some of the pre-existing relationships or some of the interesting quirks that one might notice about the characters upon first meeting them.
Hi, yeah, I'm a Fisk. I'm like a 7'8" Fearbolg, really out of my element in the city. And I'm the part of the True Blue detectives, and I generally just look very awkward around the city. And I'm being a Fearbolg from the forest and whatnot. It's just not my cup of tea. So I'm a little more reserved. And not really comfortable with big crowds of people and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's.
Okay.
But yeah, going around, we'll see what happens.
So Fisk and Ethermath are both wizards, although sort of different types. Ethermath is much more of a traditional wizard, like spellbook and everything else, and just enjoys the pure intellectual pursuits of it all. He's not necessarily shy about speaking up, but he's too blunt to be good at talking to people. Like I think in session one, I explained how hideous one of the people in our group was to him because he is Vidalkin from Ravnica, and so not used to dealing with probably Chaz, but I don't remember who I was addressing at the time. Uh, so he and Fisk have been running this detective agency for a little while now, essentially since Fisk got to the city. And it is, the way we make our living while we otherwise pursue our goals. He has my characters, both Fisk and my character are blue skinned. Fisk may be blue furred. I forget.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forget how it works. But my character has blue skin and no ears. He wears this sort of bronze colored contraption around his torso that he can, occasionally it emits arcs of electricity. Occasionally it like just explodes in fire or other things that can damage people around him. So he has to be a little careful with it. Uh, but it is apparently something he brought with him from Ravnica.
Okay.
There's a picture.
Nice.
Cadeau is well, he's a strapping young lad and makes sure that everybody knows their way around. You need to get someplace, I know how to get you there. We'll make a little jink along the way, so be it. Maybe occasionally I am, do other things. Who knows?
I appreciate your caution so early on, given the history of your characters in Mike's games.
I got a history. He's seen it. He knows what's going on.
I could
That's why if he kills me, it's his own damn fault.
Kudo, how do you know the others that Fisk and Uthermeth reached out to you?
Oh, see, I know I can spot a lost person a mile away. That's an easy mark. I mean, I'm here to help. I just figured I approached them and offered my services to people. Where you need to go, I got you there.
I forgot. I was calling you Kadu because for some reason it hit my brain as Kazoo. And so it was hard to get that out. But I
He
forgot
won't
also
correct you.
Kado did try to talk to the what was it?
The Davos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did mild communication. There was some, I think, recognition on his part, but not on mine. And the recognition was this kid doesn't know what the fuck he's saying.
But that is also sort of like people don't try to strike up conversations with the Damas.
But this one was unusual, so it seemed
Right.
safe.
This one was a tattoo artist apparently, so they all otherwise work for the Lady of Pain, so that he is especially unusual.
But also, Dabus normally float above the ground. This one walked upon the ground. So that's another interesting factoid about him.
And the hairless tabaxi also unusual in
Yeah.
my experience. I hope the hairless tabaxi turns out to be the BBEG of the whole campaign.
Just go kill him right now.
he's,
Done.
he's like the foil for the party. So does Cadeau, like I know we were discussing that Cadeau would have taken a form that we would have known him in once he saw us coming, the
Yep.
two blue dudes. I don't know what form Dobrun would have known Cadeau in.
It would be a common enough one. Most like it's probably the form that most people would see him in. Most people, like if he wants to interact with somebody, this is the form. This is what he would look like, essentially. If he wants to be unseen, or unnoticed, he will change his form.
Okay. And that form is like a human.
Yeah, roughly like this, super young looking.
Okay.
And always rocking the blue steel.
Well, we didn't roll comeliness scores, but obviously it would be super high.
We should bring
This
back
isn't
those
first
rules.
edition.
Oh,
I did
man,
have my
forgot
players
about
roll
that.
it in my Wednesday game. Just to see. I'm like, yeah, just roll a d20. That's your score.
Those rules were like weird because if you got high enough comeliness scores, you were like automatically effectively casting suggestion on everyone around you. You know, like hot people do. They
Yep.
just get everything they want.
How does Chaz fit into the equation?
Let's see.
He's a
Chaz
skull
has
dude, man.
got he's an Azamar, golden skin, golden blonde hair, about 5'7". Wears well, I don't have yeah.
He's got the
He's
got them
got scale mail
sunglasses.
right now. And yeah, always wears his sunglasses no matter the where or what time of day it is. And there is sort of a glow about him at all times.
So obviously I pulled him in. Like, oh, you're trying to look for somebody? I know a guy. He's gonna help. I don't know with what, but he will help.
So,
So you wouldn't
so,
necessarily have known me. Maybe we've seen each other, but if you know them, then that's really
so yeah, I think Dobrun. So he's Dobrun's a bit of a wanderer, and he's a wanderer with purpose. And so, given this, I think how he would be involved is he would have wandered into the True Blue detective agency, um, and offered his aid outright.
why is it called True Blue? I see. Immediately.
Right. And we apparently only take clients who are blue.
Yeah, it's in the contract.
You get a special discount at least.
So yeah, he would have walked in and offered his services because he could tell that this place really needs his help. He won't tell you why he thinks that, but he has a feeling.
So at one point in the past, Dobrun just finds himself walking into the is it True and Blue or Blue and True?
Blue and true.
Blue and True. He just finds himself walking into the Blue and True, and then Uthermeth looks up from his desk, and Fisk looks up from whatever it is he's doing with, I imagine, with his plants or something. And then Dobrun just says, "Hello, you need my help. I don't know how, but you do. Here's my card."
He would say, he would be far more cryptic, of course.
Even
He-
more cryptic.
He hands us a
Ow.
card and it's like in braille, so we can't read it.
You get it? Yeah.
No, he would walk in and he would walk in and say, ah, this place could use a Loxodon's touch. The path leads here and ends here.
I don't know what that means.
The
Yeah,
path,
the office itself is not that big, like space, even though every door opens up. Actually, that's a sort of interesting question. Does that work that way with prospective shops? Can we have all the
So,
shops in one building?
so typically yes, but as was mentioned at the last session, yours is one of the rare buildings that doesn't have additional extra dimensional spaces within. Yours is a very small building, but yours is you are the only occupants.
So it is well organized, but there's a lot of stuff crammed into it. Like a lot of tool sets are lining the walls. They're all orderly. because Ethermath does like to keep his stuff in order. But he's not necessarily like there's no, I would say, at least on my end, no real decoration or attempt to make it look nice. It's functional. It's very functional.
My end's more like a wild animals living there, just sticks and twigs and not. It's a very polar opposite.
I like to think I'd go there occasionally. And it's like you see, you can't get real grass anywhere else, so it's like lay down.
You have a nice bed of sod that I charge people to lay on.
Do you often have trouble finding case files? Assuming that is what you're tracking and not body parts or inventory or some other.
We tried to keep things organized.
Well, the path has led me here. I see it twisting around you and in this space, which means, for at least the present, I am called here. I can offer my services. I am Dobrun. And he reaches out his trunk in a greeting.
I mean, I would reach out and shake his trunk, assuming that is the ritual you're going for. It might be more to touch trunks. I don't know what Loxodons do. How do you see with the blindfold on?
The path illuminates everything around me. I see perfectly. I see things that are not there. Things that are hidden to those with sight.
I look at your card, and can you read with the blindfold on?
I was trained in the arts of letters by my masters. I can even see the mouse that has made a home underneath the desk.
That is not a mouse, that is Kyofu. I reach under the desk and pull out a blue colored bat.
Wow. Close enough.
No, not that mouse.
But I think my services would be of use here. And if you have a place to stay, I would be appreciative. I can also take some cardboard in the corner. That is a luxury.
Are you new to Sigil?
Yes.
Then I feel it is my duty to at least help you settle in. We certainly could use your services from time to time.
This place is very strange. It's very corporeal.
I like touch my desk. Yes, it is that. So this is all sort of like a flashback, but you would find that we do have clients, like they range from finding things that were stolen to following people to see what they're up to or who they're cheating with. Like it's normal detective agency stuff.
Okay.
But I'm sure we could find a way to use like a blind person who can actually see as part of the sting operations that we have to conduct.
I can do more.
Nobody suspects the blind guy.
Who's Joey Greco? Who's the one that goes like, "Do you know who this is? This is that man's wife or something." It's like cameras will following you around.
Yes.
So I guess we would have just left the note at the office for him to find.
I also kind of wonder if, you know, you had known each other long enough where you knew that you didn't even need to leave a note. The Dobrun would just know to come and find you.
Yeah, I would think that Dobrin would be able to, not to like mechanically don't have to do this, but I would think that there would be some if he's being guided, I would imagine that he would be able to follow some trail. So he might just know where you're at least for now.
Part of me was kind of hoping that your like blind sight worked like Daredevil, in which case you can't necessarily like read off of a page, and that means your card might just be like anything. Like you're handing out cards, it's like two jink off a sword.
Well, he doesn't really have a card. He just like hands you a piece of his tunic.
Here's my card. It's blank. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
That's
this
correct.
is my essence. This is a piece of me. That is what these cards are they not? Small personal affections.
This guy's weird.
We also do have like a logo and sign for the business that Frank made. I don't have a link for it, but he might.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Also, based on the description of Uthermeth and Fisk, it kind of reminds me of uh, Newton and Herman from Pacific Rim, the two scientists. One
Yep.
messy
Yes,
with the
yeah,
kaiju
yes, yeah,
entrails
yeah,
and
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, get off of my side.
Yeah, I sort of
Okay.
imagined that Fisk and Ethermath were probably like there's like a little room in the back with little more than like a cot in it. Like that's where we sleep. Since I don't think we have like separate places that we go to.
I If you can spare a corner, that should be enough.
I'm sure that we can.
I'll just shoot an email. Can't send it through the chat.
Also, he is 8 feet tall.
So we're a tall group. I'm the
Boom.
short one at 6'5".
I won't hold that against you. Short people have done great things.
I'm not going to be that tall.
Not that you can't be, just that you don't want to.
I don't want to be a freak.
And then you have Chaz Collinsworth at 5'7". So
Was Chaz the other one who got sick? I forget.
Yeah.
But he vomited in an awesome way.
yeah.
Looked cool when he did it, and it looked dorky when Ethermath did it.
And then the two guys that ran the lift made a big huff about it, and you paid them for it to clean up, and they just
Yes.
fucking prestidigitation.
Right, the gargoyles who operated the taxi.
So the last thing that you guys did was you spoke with Keth'iri about seeing if Eliath was one of the barmies that they tend to serve, as well as coming back to get some names of others that he's concerned about that may be found in the mortuary. Also, just a really quick reminder, Uthermeth would know from his experience in Sigil that the mortuary tends to be accessible, but only to a point by the public. If you have a specific name of somebody who's died, and can show some sort of relationship, not an official relationship or anything, not like a marriage license, but if you could show to them some kind of earnest relationship that may have existed, if the person is interred there and is their body is still there, they will allow you to pay your final respects. And so they would guide you into the building and show you the person that has passed. If they no longer have the body, either because they've sent it to where it needs to go, or they've cremated it on in the plane of fire, they would let you know confirmation that the person that you are seeking has been their name has been put in the dead book. Um, Otherwise, you there nobody aside from Dustman actually gained entrance to the mortuary. Um, Even the collectors that you may see around the hive who look for dead bodies to both loot them of what they can, as well as to sell them to the mortuary, since it saves the mortuary the hassle of finding and getting these dead bodies. So even collectors do not gain access to the mortuary. There's a special drop-off point for them to relinquish the bodies in exchange for the small amount of jink that they get in return. So so that was where we left off. And as at that point, the interesting transition that happens in Sigil from day to night, where the 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 light in Sigil is interesting in that during the day, the light kind of suffuses from everywhere and nowhere. There's no particular source of light that is noticeable. But as day transitions to night, it happens somewhat quickly. And Sigil is a city where at night things can get fairly dark. There are, of course, lanterns that may be provided throughout the city, although they are relatively rare since they are not often well kept up. Um, and so there you are likely to find uh, urchin children willing to like called light bearers who might offer their services for a small amount of coin, although they are just as likely to steal from you as they are to help you light your way. Um, this is a problem particularly in the hive because, in the best of areas in Sigil, the maintenance of the lights, the street lights and everything is haphazard as best. In the hive, it is nearly non-existent. So it does become quite dark fairly quickly. And as that transition happens and you're deciding what the next step is as a group, suddenly Dobrun just so happens to walk up.
Ah, I have found you.
So we're still at the Gatehouse.
Yes.
I got your message.
I'm well, we're glad you made it. I would update you on what has gone on since we've gotten to this section of the city, to the hive. Probably with a lot of that discussion would have been about the behemoth, even though that has nothing to do with what we're doing there.
The Behemoth.
I assume you saw the behemoth. It's gigantic and takes up several blocks.
How close was the Behemoth? How close is the Behemoth?
It's not too far away. It's probably the most prominent landmark in all of the hive.
I'm not sure what you're talking about. What is this?
Oh, everyone, we should go back to the Behemoth.
Don't you have somebody to find?
Oh, yes, that's true.
I'm not here to slow you down or anything.
So this Eliath, you're, we're waiting. We're waiting, we're waiting for records to be seen if he interacted with this gatehouse.
No,
That's
the Gatehouse is a place for the mentally and physically ill. But that will take about a day for him, my friend Keth'iri, to tell us whether or not Eliath was here. We are waiting for Keth'iri to give us a list of names of people who have disappeared, possibly related to this shadow fiend who is challenging the Lady of Pain and who has been killing off people to take their souls and in some way absorb their energy. It makes sense that such a creature would prey on the weak. And it sounds as if the barmies are the ones who are suffering the worst. Sorry, what are the drunks and drug addicts called?
Barmies and bubbers.
Bubbers.
Drunks.
Yeah.
So I would also fill you in on the fact that we were going to go and check out the mortuary. But we should brainstorm. I'm not sure how to get into the mortuary. It would seem likely that none of us are going to happen to have a connection to any of the dead. We will have to convince them to let us by somehow.
Hmm.
And my best thought right now is for Cadeau to just turn into like a really old man. And we could do the whole Monty Python. Oh, he'll be dead any minute.
I mean, I can try it, but I really don't think so. I don't want to do that.
Well, the Dustmen already think we're all dead. So I don't even know that that would matter.
I could,
Certainly.
I mean, I could do, and I was like, make myself look like pale, like real pale, like and sickly, like liver spots and marks under my eyes, but like not making myself actually look older. You do
I will
this.
say that it is common enough knowledge with regards to how the dustmen handle the dead that once somebody is interred, they are processed to where either they are embalmed and then sent off to wherever it is that they need to go. Um, if they are known to have any kind of final arrangements. But otherwise, they fairly quickly cremate any bodies that are they do not know where their final resting place is meant to be in the plane of fire. So they would
That is,
immediately put you on a slab and either fairly quickly start figuring out is this guy getting embalmed and sent somewhere or is he getting put into the plane of fire?
that's a risk we're willing to take with Cadeau.
Hear me out. We can adjust this plan slightly. Maybe we can convince them, is this what I want to do? Or somebody, I don't know. You guys look old enough. Anyway, we just go and say, yeah, I'm going to be dying soon. I just want to like, can you show me your process? What's it like? You get a tour.
Was there any reason why you can't just actually look dead? Just lay very still.
Because then they'll immediately actually kill me. And I'm not going to I didn't volunteer for it the first time. I'm sure shit, and I'm not going to volunteer for it the second time.
We'll just tell them what plane you're going to, so they'll only embalm you.
I think we asked for a tour.
And that is one idea is we could claim to be interested in joining the Dustmen. And perhaps they would give us a tour if they thought we were potential recruits to their faction.
We could be. We could. We could.
I mean,
We could enter to. We could enter and bless, provide blessing services for those who've been interred.
I mean, if the person we're looking for is actually dead, then we have a reason to go in and look for him. We could just say, "Hey, we're looking for somebody."
Yes, so going by what Mike said, he was saying if you have like a special connection, not just if you happen to know the name.
Let me clarify, because
we have a special. We're being paid.
If you can provide some kind of genuine indication that you have a relationship with somebody, it's not something that has to be a documented relationship like husband or wife. It doesn't have to be like, if it's a dear friend or something, it's kind of understood that it's an honor system sort of thing. So Dustmen, they'll hear you out. If they have any suspicions, they may bar your entry. But if they don't, then they're likely to just allow you to see them. But also, just going to the mortuary, you can ask them if somebody's name has been put into the dead book, and they'll let you know.
Yeah. No need for subterfuge. Let's just go.
What do we know of Elias?
What he looks like.
Do we know his favorite color?
I assume blue. He's in blue tattered robes. It is part of our theme.
Yes. Do we know what his favorite meal is?
No, we did not even think to ask that question.
Why would we?
He lives in the hive, so most people in the hive are so poor that they basically eat whatever they can get. In the bar we went to, the Dazed Wizard, they had only gruel and meat chunks.
It was delicious.
They would not identify the meat.
It was delicious.
So gruel and meat chunks is his favorite meal. Good. With this, we can.
He was not at that bar, so I don't know if he eats there. I don't know if he has money to eat.
Did you ask if he lived here?
Does he live here?
Because I wasn't part of your conversation with the guy, so I don't know.
Right. I mean,
I don't remember.
We kind of hand waved over some of the conversation. I don't remember them saying he actually lives here, but the implication of the blue tattered robes and the fact that he's hanging around places in the hive is that he's, among the impoverished.
So to clarify, Bendon Mall had said that Eliath had been missing for several years, and that he was recently spotted in the hive. And so at the time of him being seen, he was wearing tattered blue robes and he was disheveled. So, I mean, there's a possibility that his situation has improved somewhat, or, but Bendon is giving you the best information that he had at the time when Eliath was found to actually be alive and no longer missing.
So I think we need the list of names from Keth'iri before we go to the mortuary so we know who we're asking to see.
Did he say who his contact was? Who was his source?
We just assumed the information he gave us was correct because he's paying us by the day.
Sure.
Um, the area around the mortuary, is it fairly densely populated? Like, are there a lot of people on the streets, or is it fairly empty? I know it's dark.
So well, you're not at the mortuary right now, but the mortuary is in the hive. And you know, the hive is fairly densely packed, but it's also kind of like a shanty town. Like any buildings or structures that actually exist are in half ruins and makeshift tents and um other buildings that have been engineered out of whatever can be found or salvaged are the majority of the structures that you see. A lot of it is for housing, but certain establishments may also be found among this, such as the butcher's block or the blood pit. The butcher's block actually looked like it was a fully structured establishment, which makes it a little bit bougie for the hive. The blood pit was a literal mud pit that had like stones and broken chairs around the edge to provide seating for the entertainment. And a guy in kind of like a lemonade stand producing drinks and taking bets. So, that's the kind of gamut that you can expect from the hive. The mortuary, however, it sticks out. It's very visible throughout the hive because it is the largest structure that exists in within the hive. And aside from maybe the behemoth, and it is a very well established, well maintained structure, which puts it at odds at every other structure in the hive. In terms of whether or not people are densely packed around it, people don't like to be around the mortuary because it does have a consistent smell of embalming fluid and burning flesh. Because even though they send their dead into the plane of fire, there's still a lot of burning flesh and smoke that come through that portal when that happens. And so people try to put as much distance as they feasibly can between themselves and the hive or the mortuary. But realistically, real estate is real estate, and wherever one can find suitable place for establishing some kind of shelter, they're gonna do it. Um, so there's that.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes. Well, seems. Well, I think it probably would be a good idea to wait until we have that list of names so we can come up with a proper alibi.
In the meantime, since that may take us several hours, we could always send Dobrun back to the Dazed Wizard to talk to Trunfeld Three-Teeth and see
Oh,
if he can
okay.
get a
So
better.
clarification. The Dazed Wizard is where Ben and Maul is staying. The
Oh,
Butcher's
okay.
Block is where is the establishment Trunfeld Three-Teeth runs.
I see. But we could send Dobrun back to Trunfeld Three-Teeth since she has not seen him.
Does Dobrun know who this is?
I mean, I would have told you about our attempt to get information from her and her trying to charge us money to get it. A bit too much money, in my character's opinion.
What kind of information were you getting from her on Elias's whereabouts?
Yes, we described Elias to her. We don't actually know that her information will be valuable, but I would recommend that you order the meat hunks because she did not like it when we bought the other thing that she sold to customers.
I suppose I could do that. Meat interferes with the path, though.
Let's not order any food then.
Do they
What
serve
about what
do they
about
Yeah,
wine or
even
whatever?
the
I don't know. What do we have here?
well, I think we
What
had
was the
ale
drink?
there.
Yeah, ale. Yeah. How about ale? Does ale work?
ale will do. Ale is sanctified.
I think that's really all that matters.
Well, if you think that there's information to be gained,
It's probably
I would be happy to make my acquaintance with her and see what I can dig up.
how much money you got?
Well, I stashed a few gold coins underneath my cardboard this morning that I decided to take with me.
Lucky us.
I forget how much she said the information was going to be for us.
Like 20. 20 jink.
Hey, what is a jink?
A gold coin.
I I could pay that if I needed to.
I yeah, I mean, I would recommend not spending more than that, as that was our original price. But again, I feel like another person going in and asking is just
She
going to
clearly
drive the
did
price
not
up.
she clearly did not like us. So I expect she will drive the price up anyway if we come back. She will assume that we are desperate.
Can I insight that? Like, I know it's a retroactive insight.
I will allow you to.
Spilled all the water.
I'll allow you to. Yeah, you can make an insight check. So, as you recall the interaction with Trunfeld, um, and also based on maybe now remembering some things that you may have heard about her or her establishment, the price is pretty consistent. Any information that she sells is the same price, 20 jink. Now, some of the information might be a little less valuable than 20 jink. Some of it might be much more valuable than 20 jink. But in the end, it evens out, and she's consistent in that price. Why she chose that price point, that's something that, is between her and the Lydia Payne.
20
But
jink is a lot.
20 jink is 20 jink. So, but I mean, you also recall that she really does seem to pride herself on her capacity to keep her ear to the ground and to pick up the chant on the street.
Mm. Okay.
So I'm just asking for Elias's whereabouts or general information about where he where he might be.
Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I think we can all go.
Do you
I think it'll
know
be fine.
why does and she should know his whereabouts just because
She's very good at it.
she knows things? Does she have any
She
connection with
hears things. That's what it is. It's a bar.
She- right.
It's a big
She
bar.
has no specific connection to Eliath that we're aware of, but she did offer to sell us information about his whereabouts when we described him to her. She might know very little.
well, if that is the best lead we have,
And
then
we do have time before my friend comes back with the list of names, and then it will be then another day before he can give us information about whether Eliath is or was here in the gatehouse. So
well,
we have some time to spare before we have anything else to do. Of course, we could go back to the Behemoth and study it further, try to figure out why it is not moving.
Maybe it doesn't want to.
That is a possibility. I was thinking about that. It's also possible it's just frozen somehow in time. And perhaps we could break that spell.
what does this behemoth look like?
Like a
I mean, I
giant
would begin,
snapper
right, I would begin to describe it. It was
in
described to
great
us
detail.
as, right, it was described to us, like you might know this better than my character would, because it was described to us as a giant sort of dinosaur-looking creature.
Okay.
Whereas I don't think either math would have ever seen a dinosaur. Dobrun might have, coming from Eberron.
It has sat so still for so long. People live on it.
They live in its mouth.
Yeah, they have like a fire in their mouth, and just build structures over it around it.
Yeah.
That is bizarre.
Yep. That's welcome to the cage.
I would not mind going to the beast or the
We should-
behemoth.
You're not going to learn anything. You're not going to learn anything though. Everything you learn has already been learned. Just got to find a library.
That's fair. Anyways, the path is directing.
All I know is that the Lady of Pain doesn't kick it out, so therefore must be doing all right.
The path seems to be guiding me towards this purveyor of information.
Money
Yes, we should
change.
go
That's
to
what
the
it'll cost you.
we should go to the butcher's block first,
Yes.
I'm
and
sorry,
then
guys.
detour
I
to the
need to
behemoth on
take
the
a
way
break
back.
for a second.
No
I'll
worries.
be right back.
Yep. Mhm.
What was the butcher? What was at the butcher's block?
The butcher's block is where Trunfeld Three-Teeth is. That's her bar.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I agree.
I like to think there were meat hunks in the gruel too, just like less meat hunks.
Yeah, because they had to pick it out.
That's right.
Su-
That's
subtle
the
meat
the
hunks.
the vegetarian option is fewer meat hunks.
Oh, vegetarian, like less meat.
Mm. Want more meat?
The other odd thing is that tattooist Dabus was the tattoo it was giving was like of a competing god to the Lady of Pain.
Right.
His name was Tattooist Davos.
Yep. He's got a name.
Yeah, I didn't write his name down.
Yeah,
Well-
that one is what I mean.
He's a journal.
Fell, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
is his name. Yeah, Fell.
So Mike did put a picture of the behemoth in the journal. It's not as big, I don't think. I don't think this is to scale.
Oh, it's not.
Didn't the didn't the didn't Three-Teeth have like a growth she called Mitch?
Yes, she has numerous growths.
One big one on her shoulder. She's named.
Right.
Yeah, Mitch.
Amazing.
Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get the dog situated.
No problem.
It's all right.
I noticed that Mike added in the description of the NPCs the episodes that they were seen in. That seems like slightly a pain in the ass to keep up. Having to edit every time an NPC is seen. I want Mike to also add like just when they are referenced.
Yeah, timestamp it.
That's actually both for you and for me. So
Right.
when I need to reference their voices and mannerisms, I can more easily get that. Plus, I do intend to kind of keep an active running update on the NPCs as opposed to like the weekly summaries that um I know Kurt and Dustin do.
I started using this website called GM Assistant, and you upload your audio cut from to it, and it'll actually produce a pretty good summary, and it'll break out not just a summary, but like all the NPCs that showed up, as well as
That's cool.
like the spells, the items that like came across. It's actually fairly impressive at
That's pretty
it's
cool.
yeah, so it saves me a lot of time.
I might look into that actually.
Yeah, me too.
I still like having consolidated information though for each NPC.
Yeah, it's like
And
more
then-
more so like this is what happened this session, and you can work it
Mhm.
into your master notes.
all right, so I'm sorry guys. You guys were deciding to head back to the butcher's block?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So you head back to the butcher's block And as you walk in, once more, wait, are all of you going in?
I was not planning on going in. I was planning on waiting outside.
Yeah, I was probably do the same.
Okay.
But Dobrun would certainly be.
I might go in.
Three teeth. It's got more than three teeth. Three tooth.
Yeah, that was one of the mysteries. Why is she called Three-Teeth?
I'm sure there's a growth somewhere to explain that.
Yeah, it's not three teeth in her mouth.
Um, I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to manage this dog while playing.
Okay.
So, and then, kiddo, are you changed your form?
Yep.
Come here, you. Just come here. We're gonna do this. You're not a lapdog, but you are right now. So, uh, Trunfeld sees you walking in and she says, "Whoa, look at the thick thighs on that one. Man, I'd like to get my teeth around them. Arr. What can I do you fellas for? Seriously."
I will have the gruel.
All right.
And
My thighs aren't that thick, are they?
I think we found an alternative to paying the 20 gold.
You know, sell your body.
do you
Yeah.
serve ale?
Gruel, please.
Yeah, we got ale, we got gruel.
With the meat chunks.
Good. Some pussies earlier were like, I don't want the meat hunks. Well, get the fuck out of here. What are you coming here for if you don't want the meat hunks?
They must not have been from the hive.
Right? You know how hard it is to get protein in here?
I do.
I'm aware.
Well,
I will have meat hunks in the gruel.
All right. And Trunfeld fills a couple of bowls from the bubbling cauldron in the fire, pours some mugs of ale, and she sets them down and she says, "All right, that'll be 5 jink."
Very well. He pulls out 5 jink, puts it on the table.
So, that thing on your face, is it just a nose? Or can you do other things with it?
He
he grabs the spoon.
I was gonna say no, he grabs he uses it to wrap the trunk to wrap the mug of ale and like just like dumps it into his mouth.
Oh, still my beating heart.
It is it is proficient in many things.
I can imagine some things I'd like to check its proficiency on.
What lovely what a lovely establishment you have.
You like it? It's okay. Got real lucky with the, establishing in this particular area.
Did you get it by beating the previous owner to death?
Who told you about me?
I was just eyeing that giant club over there behind the bar.
Yeah, that's Beta.
I I can only picture the amount of heads that thing has caved in.
Heads and otherwise. It's an efficient tool.
I'm more of a axe man myself.
Yeah, I can see that you have a number of efficient tools.
You know, gotta use them, gotta use them, gotta use what you got, what you're born with, what you're trained with.
Sorry, one second. I'm saying goodnight, Maddox.
You have to say it in that voice, though. It's not dad saying goodnight. It's Trunfeld Three-Teeth.
I like to think I just like plow through this bowl of gruel, see how this is going, and just like get up and like, all right, buddy. Don't forget. And I just leave.
Dobrun can date Trunfeld, and Cadeau can date Mort.
Who is Mort?
The growth on her shoulder.
Oh yeah. The double date every time.
I just leave. I don't. What are you guys doing outside? Like,
We're like I would assume we're sort of like out of
looking
line of
through the
sight.
window?
Yeah, no. We're out of line of sight, so she doesn't know we're there. But I'm otherwise waiting to hear how it went.
I'm just trying to talk you down not to go see the Behemoth.
All right, so
Yeah.
where were
And
we?
If Dobrun has to bed Trunfeld, that's a sacrifice Uthermath is willing to make too.
Yeah, I just like I get back to the party. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but I think he'll get it.
He's gonna get it.
He's gonna get a lot of things
Gonna get
if
something.
he keeps playing his cards right. And I'm like, oh wait, one. Let me shake my change forms back.
How big is Trunfeld?
Uh, she's probably about 8, 9 feet tall. I mean, she's an ogre, so
Right. I was just wondering if this because Dobrun's pretty big too. So I was wondering if I could just picture the Baldur's Gate 3 Hobgoblin ogre scene.
Yep. Get out of here. As you were saying, word on the street is that you have your ears to the grounds. That you know things. You know the goings on around the hive.
Ah, this is too bad. Suddenly things are turning professional. Yeah, I got my ear to the ground. People talk here. I tend to listen. People don't know I tend to listen, but it's what I'm good at. It's what I like to do. You know, I'm sure we could find some other fun things to do than just listening. Yeah.
He's like looking at her, and like the path is clearly going away. It's clear, like staying away from her. Uh, and he's like, right. Um, I'm sure we could find some fun things to do.
You know, how about we take a trip? Let's get out of the hive and head over to Pound Town.
Never heard of this place. Is it far?
It's closer than you think.
But also never follow a stranger to a second location. So
He thinks he's like reflecting back on what his masters would his about his life in the monastery
And all the choices that brought him to this
and
moment.
all the points. Yeah,
Master,
And
you
the-
never trained me for this.
How has the path led you here?
and he realizes that she didn't say who is the pounder and who is the poundee.
I'm afraid. I must take a rain check on the ticket to Pound Town.
Hey, you can cash in that ticket anytime.
I will keep that in mind.
You do that.
I'm looking for a certain individual wearing, who is known to be wearing blue tattered robes. His name, I believe, is Eliath.
Blue tatted robes. Is that really all you got?
What else would have? What else would have? What else do we know about him?
White beard.
You got a description at least.
It's a pure white beard, and he squints a lot, and he's wiry and thin.
And the Loxodon never forgets.
Oh, that is in my bio.
So he's old and scrawny as well as
He's an
being
old
wiry
He's an old, scrawny, wiry creature
and,
with
and short, who
Well,
squints a lot.
I might have some. I might have the chant on the basha you're looking for, but I like you. I really do. But I got standards, ethics. So I'm gonna charge you what I charge everyone. 20 jink. But of course, I could take payment in kind.
There's a glint in her eyes that hopes you say yes.
He pulls
No
out
insight roll needed.
he pulls out 20 jink, which might be one of the first times or the few times that she's been disappointed to receive money.
This actually sort of reminds me of the dwarven countess who was interested in T-Hole and who ultimately blew cocaine into his face.
Good thing all
Why does
that
it always happen to Dustin's character?
I know. Just like Tony's characters always die.
I mean, when you see a Loxodon, all things go out the window.
So many more possibilities.
He'll hand over
That's
20 jink.
See, I don't think it's. I think it's just that you look for the most horrendous combination of things to put together, and you go for it.
It's true. It's true. The minute that I knew that a Loxodon was going to walk into this bar, I knew Trunfeld would love it.
It's fine. I mess with my players the same way.
Actually, now that it's come up, I realize I'm kind of surprised there's not more like Elephant Rule 34 stuff because of the trunk.
Well, I mean, it probably is out there. You just don't search it.
That might
You
be.
don't run in those circles. You're just gonna let the moment last a bit longer, huh? All right. I see what you're doing. And she slides the jink over and puts it in her pocket. All right. I seen the fella you're looking for. The squinty eyes is what gave it away. There's a lot of Burks in the hive that look like what you described. Not many of them have eyes as squinty as this bastard. He been in here. I had to throw his ass out because he didn't have any money to pay for any of the food or drink he was trying to order. That was probably about a week ago.
Is that the only time that he was in the butcher's block?
Oh, baby. When I throw someone out, they know not to come back.
But he did not come in before that. That was his one and only time.
Yeah. That was the only time he tried coming in here.
Is he known in the area? Does he have a reputation?
Not especially. I mean, he kind of wanders around talking about this this place with the black trees. This place with the black trees. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. But it's pretty much and the only thing that came out of his mouth. He's like, I'll have some ghoul. Let me tell you about the black trees. I'm like, I don't want the black trees. I want your Jake.
Yeah. I can understand how a man like that couldn't satisfy a woman like you.
I like to think that pause was in there. In this.
I think making an educated guess.
It absolutely was, as he's trying to like figure out the right way to refer to her.
Oh, darling, you're making me sweat.
I think that's the gruel. Or the meat chunks. It's making me sweat.
Well, you know what the best remedy for sweating is?
Getting fresh air?
Getting out of them sweaty clothes. You know, this is my establishment. I got a room right over there. I promise wouldn't take too much of your time. And you'll be unable to get the name Trunfeld Three-Teeth out your mind.
I'll think on it.
I know you will.
Trunfeld is putting out into the universe, demanding that it get back.
Look, the path is leading you into that room. Clearly. As she, seductively strokes her growth.
The growth just blink. Or did it wink?
Nobody said the path was going to lead you to places you wanted to go.
I thank you for your time.
You greased. Who posted
Accident.
that?
Here, let me help.
A whole new use for that spell.
Right. You only have a minute, but
Get to it.
I think that's I think that's I think I think I need to get some fresh air.
Well, you come back anytime, darling. Make sure you bring that nose. Ooh.
Oh, I will. He like gets up and then heads out. You notice it as she like looks into the bowl of gruel. He ate around all the meat chunks.
She has a look at this. Anyone that would be watching would notice that she has a slight look of disgust, but then she glances up at that ass and she's like, "Ooh.
Well,
Okay."
he's perfect.
Dobrun is cheeked up.
Gets Dobrin gets out to the rest of the group.
Oh, that was fast.
Well, we had a nice conversation, which was her mostly trying to get with me.
Chaz throws up. Bogus.
Listen, it was funny to watch whenever I was in there, but I had to leave.
You can see that he's like covered in sweat.
I see you're very sweaty. Did you sleep with her?
No, no, she is. I live a chaste life, Uthermath, and
Who's
part
chasing
of
you?
that chastity is to avoid bedding with ogres, particularly one with several growths.
I'd like to think that I've never heard the word chaste before. What?
The monks would not approve of such, well, any pleasures, but especially that. But I did manage to find some information. Apparently, this our Eliath was here about a week ago. He doesn't have a whole lot of a reputation other than muttering about black trees.
I perk up when you say black trees.
I don't get that reference. I don't know what the black trees would be.
Anyone that is trained in Arcana can do an Arcana check right now.
Oh, wait, maybe I do.
All right. So, Uttermat. I know I butchered that, but whatever. You actually have heard of something known as the Isle of Black Trees. It's a demiplane that was created by a wizard of some substantial power. He created the demiplane specifically to store and hoard all of his magical treasures that he had procured over the course of his life. There's a lot of individuals who are highly motivated to try and find a way to enter this demiplane and claim those treasures for themselves.
Yes, I don't know much about the black trees, except that there is an isle of black trees, and I will describe the demiplane. I suppose this could be why our employer is looking to find Eliath. He could be hoping that Eliath will actually lead him to this demiplane. Not that
Well,
his reasoning matters necessarily.
if it is full of riches, then that would be a motive.
If he found it, it drove him crazy.
That could be. And then he would be more likely to end up in the gatehouse. Still, it sounds as though that information might provide us with more information to share with other people who may have seen him, but it doesn't give us a new place to go and check for him. So we will still have to go back to the gatehouse.
Indeed. But if
Sounds like
he
he
had
might.
been muttering it, then that might be another way to describe this person.
Right.
It also
And she said that he wanders around. So it is still possible we could run into him independently or meet others who've run into him more recently than a week ago.
At least it's another live sighting.
and it
True.
was relatively recent.
And when did your person last? Or when did his person? When did they spot it? He was spotted some time ago but how long ago was your person?
I don't remember how long ago, if that was said. I just all I remember was that he was most recently seen at the butcher's block. So that was probably this incident, since it didn't
Indeed.
sound like he comes here a lot. Or since.
One and only time, apparently.
So who knows? Maybe he's a changeling like you. He's here all the time.
Well, where to? It's nighttime.
We could go see the Behemoth.
I'm gonna leave then.
Or we could go back to the gatehouse and see if Keth'iri has the list of names. Ordinarily, I would say we could go back to see Keth'iri tomorrow, but it's a long trip back to our office, and we would have to come back then in the morning anyway.
Let's
How
head,
long have we been in the hive?
Probably close to 8 hours.
let's head to see Keth'iri to see if if there's any updates.
So from here, there was the one other place that I said we could check. I forget what that was though.
The blood pit.
Where's
Where
that
the
from here?
that was the armless gnome place.
Oh, okay.
Well, let's
So
see.
we did okay. Did we go? All right.
Let me see if there was other places there may have been. No, yeah, that was it.
Okay. Well then,
So we should go pick up the list of names from Keth'iri, and then we can call it today and come back tomorrow and go to the mortuary.
Well, okay, so it's only been about an hour since you saw Keth'iri, and he was said he would need a day
Well,
to
I
provide
thought
these names.
he needed a few hours to provide the names and then a day to check on whether or not Eliath was there. But if he's not going to have the names until tomorrow too, then we might as well just, find another taxi.
So I mean, that's a good point. I mean, you could have asked him to start by finding the names of the people that he wants you to check with the mortuary. Um, but then it would mean you're going to the mortuary multiple times, which I don't know if you're wanting to do necessarily.
I'm not sure why we would go to the mortuary multiple times. Like once we have the
Oh, I
list, the
was
only reason we're going to the mortuary, I mean, maybe Eliath is dead in there, but I thought we were going to the mortuary maybe mainly to check on the people who have died and see if we can figure out what happened to them.
right.
And
Okay. So yeah, I mean, if you wanted, well, okay. So do you want to do that and have your next stop be the mortuary?
I mean, that would be my character's preference, but if people feel like after 8 hours of wandering around they want to go home, that's sort of fair. I am not a slave driver.
I just got here.
well, we've been at it for a while.
Uh, well,
If you still need me to take you around, it's fine. I can do it.
I I am I'm game. I am open to whatever the group wills. But if we're here, we should check out the mortuary to see if we can get any additional leads. I
We'll
would
want
like to
the
see
we'll
this.
want those names.
I would like to see this behemoth at some point.
So we will need the names of the dead in order to give it to the dustmen if we're going to see the bodies.
We could ask about Eliath.
Yes, we will ask about Eliath as well. Though who knows if they would have him under his actual name or not. The people who disappeared from the gatehouse, though, they would definitely have a name for them. So we should go back to Keth'iri and see if he can give us the names of the people he wanted us to check on. Then make our way
And,
to the mortuary.
and we can pass by the behemoth on the way.
Yes, if we happen to get close to the behemoth.
We shouldn't dawdle. We were here for 2 hours last night. I know because I was timing it.
Well, I mean, if you're going to go to the behemoth, you can't just walk past.
Uh, People do it every day.
Stupid people, maybe. So I think we're going back to the gatehouse to see if Keth'iri can give us a list of names.
Okay. So on your way to the gatehouse, um, first of all, so because it's now quite dark and there is no real lighting, how are you guys navigating by?
Dobrun doesn't seem perturbed.
As,
So I
as do
have the
I.
light cantrip prepared. So I will cast light.
Okay. What are you casting it on?
It's a good question. I don't know what I usually have in my hand per se.
Oh,
Uh,
I can just
I
cast on
would,
my staff.
yeah, I would cast it on a dagger that I have.
Okay. Um, what does it look like when you guys cast it? I imagine it might be different for the both of you.
I imagine the Mizium apparatus I have begins to spark, and a little jolt of electricity shoots out of my hand onto the pommel of the dagger, and it begins to glow.
It, it takes me a couple, even though it's a cantrip, it takes me a couple attempts. Like I'm almost like a snap of a finger, and there's like a couple sparks shooting out, but like it doesn't catch the first couple times. It gets off, and I have like a smirk on my face, like, yeah, got it. I take out my book, I jot a couple notes down, and like I'm still learning the extreme basics of this.
Okay, cool.
I wrinkle
So,
my nose.
so you're walking down a street heading to the gatehouse. Uh, and it is getting quite cold as the darkness like continues to suffuse the area. Um, and it begins to rain, coming down almost in gray sheets. As you're walking, you notice ahead of you a tall, red-headed man in battered and brown clothes.
Does it rain in Sigil?
It does. It does. It and it's interesting because it may rain in certain parts of Sigil, but not others. So the weather in Sigil is somewhat normal, but it's one of those unexplained occurrences because there's no rain clouds. Uh, there's there's no changes like necessarily in barometric pressure or any of those things. It just seems like upon the whim, perhaps the whim of the lady, it just starts raining in certain places, or it may even snow, or there could be major wind storms. Uh, all kinds of weather can occur in Sigil. And right now it's beginning to rain and it's starting to rain quite hard. But as I mentioned, there was a red-headed man in front of you in a battered brown waistcoat, and he seems to be kind of bounding around like a nut. Uh, his limbs are really long, and he seems to be dancing a jig up and down. Uh, and and as you approach, because he happens to be in the direction that you need to go, um, you hear him muttering under his breath, Baphomet, Pazarel, Fraz, Blue. Uh, uh, yes, yes, Legrazin, Laugrazin, Zygmoid. And then he sees you, and then he says, and Fisk, Fisk, aha! And he starts bounding away. And then as he does, he continues on. I tell you, I've seen the flies. They take your mind. And then he starts just kind of continuing to chant names as he lurches down into an alley.
Oh, we seem to have found a friend of yours.
He's quite
do,
barmy.
do I do I recognize this person?
Not at all.
Okay. I don't think I know this person. I don't remember him. Him, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Yeah, I don't recall him.
He seemed to recall you.
Yes, that's very troubling. Is there any kind of check or roll I can make for any of the other names he was spouting?
Sure, anybody
Other-
that heard can do an Arcana check, trained or untrained.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some of the names.
Right.
Um, yeah, so pretty much everyone but Cadeau would know that they're um generally the names of like uh demon lords. Um, but not really well pronounced.
And did he go? I know he was in front of us, but he went down an alley. Is he like going, is the alley where we're trying to go, or was that just a
No,
side
it's
alley?
a
Okay.
it's a side alley that's
Okay.
not necessarily in the direction you're headed.
Yeah.
So it was a list of names of demon lords and Fisk.
Yeah.
It's something I need to tell you guys.
Hmm.
Well,
Well,
I didn't.
we don't need to go that way.
Well, I fear
Is
for
that
the safety
Insight
of this
check.
basher wandering around the streets like this. Perhaps we should take him to the gatehouse. He seems like he needs their help.
He'll probably end up
Might,
there eventually.
yeah, might be the safest spot.
We can at least go and see if we can convince him to come with us. I don't think we have grounds to arrest him as he's not harming anyone.
Yeah.
If we can try if we can even catch him. It seems
So
there are a dime a dozen of people who could use the help of the gatehouse here. So
there's also apparently a shadow fiend who attacks the bashers in this region, so better to see if we can get him off the street. So I'm going to start following in the direction he went.
Yeah, me too.
His dancing may slow him down.
The moment that you decide to head down the alley, you hear stranger danger. No, get away from me. The flies.
Uh,
move
I would
faster.
quicken my pace at that point.
So, as you quicken your pace, eventually you come to find the man on the ground. Uh, his he's kind of on his side with his arm kind of over his head. So you don't really notice or see anything in particular.
Can't save every barmy podger.
So
I'll
there's no signs of like a wound or anything that might have killed him.
Uh, not from the position that he's currently in. If you want, you can kind of move him, put him on his back, or
yeah, I'll kneel
further
down
examine
and
him.
yeah, I'll kneel down and sort of roll him over on his back and take a closer look.
Yeah, so as you look him around and examine him, go anybody who's proficient in medicine can well, even if you're not proficient in medicine, you go ahead and give a check.
I mean, my passive investigation is plus 11.
Okay. So, um, Dobrun and Uthermeth, uh, both of you, and certainly Uthermeth, as you look him over, there is absolutely nothing that you can see that would explain the fact that he seems to be dead, but you are certain he is dead. You've checked his vital signs. He has no pulse. He's not breathing. Um, he has that sort of glaze in his eyes that happens when individuals pass.
Dobrun's gonna get up and like walk around kind of through the darkness to see if he can if see if he can see anybody or if anybody has been illuminated to him.
And I would be checking around the body to see if there's any sort of signs of any other person, footprints or signs of a struggle or something.
Um, yeah, so you could go ahead and make me an investigation check. Um, and everybody can make me a perception check. Okay. So Chaz, the minute that you came upon the body, uh, you were uniquely kind of keeping awareness of your surroundings and not necessarily limiting your focus to the body. And you saw what appeared to be a dark cloak shimmer at the edge of your light and into the darkness. Um, Uthermeth, with your investigation, uh, it's hard because it's currently raining. Um, so any footprints or anything like that would have been washed away. Um, but I mean, you know that people don't just kind of generally drop dead. And certainly with what he said beforehand, it does give you the the sense that, well, clearly somebody must have come across this man and assaulted him, but there's no evidence of any kind of assault. So it's troubling.
I will yell, "Come back here, bro!" And I'll start running after where the cloak was.
Chat spot something. Let's go, guys.
Chaz, do you have dark vision?
Yep.
Okay. What's your dark vision range?
It's, uh, so you can 60 feet. You can see in dim light within 60 feet as if it was bright light. It says they have dark vision. I'm guessing 60 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Divine sense, if you have that at first level.
So Dobrun does have blind sense, but the difficulty is that the range of it is outside like this person's outside the range of his blind sense.
Yeah.
So Chaz, you see and actually because you're directing your attention, you hear several footsteps kind of ahead of you, but you notice that they're very soft, as if, they're wearing footwear specifically to kind of uh, soften the sounds that they make, but because of the rain, you are hearing the squishing of each footstep. Um, and then a moment later, the one of the shapes just vanishes.
One of the shapes, so there's more than one.
Yeah, there's at least one other.
How far away is the shape?
It's about 55 feet from you. It's right at the edge of your dark vision.
Okay. So I will run like, hey, bro, and I will run 30 feet and then Misty step the rest of the way and then to get in front of them. Like, bro, talking to you.
Uh, so that startles him and puts him firmly on his ass.
I was following him when he ran out, so I don't know if maybe when I will catch up.
Uh, yeah, I would say it was soon after. So the guy is now getting to his feet.
How long were we following this guy?
It's all going down very quickly. Um,
6 seconds. I can cast my mage armor or my dread armor, I should say.
okay. What does it look like when you cast it?
Well, I don't. Is it? Did anybody follow me?
I would have gone as well.
Well,
Yeah,
Chaz,
yeah,
and Chaz is right there.
So whenever I cast magic, there's the motions are not like arcane sigils. It's more of a and then in fact, and he doesn't like blow it back out. It's not like taking a deep breath. It's more of a and then he swallows. um, and then then the magic sort of oozes out of me, and then in this case forms this sort of briefly forms. I don't imagine it like lingers visibly until it gets touched or whatever, but this sort of shadowy cloak around me as I cast the spell.
Okay.
I think it's what 2 points for first level. But
So
then, yeah, then obviously we're there.
So this person, he stands up. He is wearing dark clothes, a completely black hood. He has his face covered, um, making it very hard to see who he is. Uh, I mean, he's wearing long sleeves and gloves and the whole thing. And you can hear him breathing heavily and kind of now seeing Chaz startled him greatly, but now seeing behind him these other people running, uh, he tries to dart around Chaz.
I think Dobrun would try to tackle him. If Chaz doesn't get him.
I will attempt to grab my flail and just do some dual damage. I'm not trying to kill the dude. I'm just trying to knock him out.
Okay.
I don't have it set up. Oh, shit. Oh well. So that would be strength. So whatever this roll is, +3. D20. So 22 to hit.
Okay. So you strike him, uh, and it certainly sends him to the ground. You hear the crack of your mace, you said?
Flail.
Flail. So you have hear the crack of the mace upon this guy. But you try and you're I imagine in order to keep it from being lethal, it's not so much that you're sending the flail out, but kind of holding it away where you're kind of knocking it with your fist to like just make it a really heavy blow, maybe into
Yeah.
his back, pushing the lungs from his air and kind of knocking him to the ground, which he then hits his head and then he is lights out.
Well, that was easy. Is he dead?
He's not dead.
That's just I would look up to Chaz and ask.
Oh,
Bro wouldn't listen.
And he's breathing. Um, I don't. This isn't the guy. What are we doing? Like look back at the blue gang back there and the elephant.
I mean, assuming he's face down, I would flip him over and search him to see what's on him, see if there's any sign that he was, somehow involved in attacking the crazy man who has flies invading his mind.
so you search him. Uh, he's got maybe 30 gold pieces on him. Uh, he's got a couple daggers. Um, and a weird little pouch full of something that smells vaguely of sulfur.
What did the crazy man yell before he was killed? I remember stranger danger.
Uh, please stop. Don't do that or something. Something along those lines. Whatever it was, he didn't like it.
So as this is going on, Chaz will step to the side and then reach under his chain shirt, pop his collar, and does divine sense. See if he detects anything.
Can you post the divine sense in the chat?
Yeah.
I love, like, I have this image of like when you're doing that, like, because you got like the blonde hair and like the kind of the golden skin. Like there's just like a surge of light that kind of like really emphasizes the pop.
From under the shirt,
Yeah.
a gust of
I,
air.
I think the Paladin of Awesome should just always start at level 1 with a cloak of billowing. So he's always got the cool cloak blowing in the breeze.
So your
So
divine
I would
sense,
God.
so your divine sense doesn't really pick up anything.
Okay.
So I would take the daggers off the guy, just so if he wakes up, he's not ready to fight. But I would leave I don't know if he has it in a purse or what. I'm not stealing his gold.
Can I try to identify?
I'm sorry, what you're I think
Can I try to
thing froze.
can I try to identify the sulfuric pouch, or is it just sulfur?
Uh, no, I would allow you. Are you proficient in the herbalism kit?
No, I am not.
It's surprising.
Dobrun is.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Is also proficient in herbalism kit though.
I'm not either, but I am proficient in
Oh wait,
alchemy.
no. Actually, I am. I am proficient. I just don't have the tools for it.
That's fine. You can use your proficiency with intelligence.
I don't know if I actually have this part set up.
So if you click on the herbalism kit, it should bring up a window where you can choose the stat that it uses.
Okay, intelligence.
Okay. Yeah, you are actually pretty familiar with these things. They are they use sulfur compounds as well as special kinds of rocky gravel so that when it's thrown upon the ground, it creates a spark, which then ignites the powder into a thick smoke. It's a smoke bomb.
Okay, I similar to the sort of the daggers. I sort of just push this off to the side, just in case he wakes up. They're not imminently next to him, and yeah.
So taking like the whatever he's cloaked in off, what does this guy look like?
So he looks like a middle-aged human, brown hair. His eyes are closed, so you can't tell what color eyes he has. Uh, he is
I mean, I would be willing to lift an eyelid just to figure that out.
so brown eyes. Um, he's got a bit of scruff, but otherwise he's clean shaven. No scars or marks, at least not on his face that you can see. Um, Fisk, I'm sending you a message.
Curiously, I do not see anything that directly indicates how this man might have killed the crazy man. He had daggers and a smoke bomb, but surely we would have noticed that if such crude tools were used. He could know magic, I suppose.
He could have just been in wrong time, wrong place.
That's true as well. But the fact that he was so bundled up and had his identity shielded does suggest he was up to something. It's not definitive, of course.
Well, let's maybe check the path along the way. Let's see if he drops something.
We probably should not leave him alone, but that is a good idea.
Somebody tie him up. Or carry him. You guys are big.
Dobrun could haul him over his shoulder.
So as your I'm sorry, Kurt. What's her? I can't pronounce your character's name at all. What is it?
It's either
Uther. Uther.
As your did you actually open one of the eyelids or?
Yes.
Yeah. So when you're doing that, I'm like, I think I remember seeing this guy at the butcher's block while we were there. he was hit. I think he was hit with a group of other people in the rental areas where people live. He seems to, I don't know, his face seems really familiar to me. I don't remember the other guy, the crazy one, but this guy, I think I remember seeing him there earlier.
A curious coincidence.
Yeah, I thought he was with some other people, I'm pretty sure. I didn't get a good look at them, but maybe it might give us a lead on at least someone to talk to, at least find something out.
Dobrun's like,
Is this the dead guy or the guy that was knocked out?
The knocked out guy.
Okay. Just ask him when he wakes up.
I will, or did you? I heard you guys talking a little bit. Did you guys tie him up, or should we?
I think
I
Dobrun's
thought
is going to pick him up.
Dobrun just picked him up.
yeah, Dobrun was
Okay.
The elephant just sits on him.
Dobrun has a powerful build, so he's pretty strong.
Me and you both.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to search the path that those two shapes ran down to see if they like threw away a gun or something.
It'd be some
I think I'm-
special kind of gun to, kill someone without leaving bullet holes.
Psychic damage. Psychic damage wand.
Yeah, he was like in a dance macabre spell.
And then he
Uh,
killed by whiplash damage too.
Right.
so yeah, you go further down the other end of the alley and you don't find anything left by anybody.
Oh, you lost your camera.
What
Yeah.
was that? He turned off.
I'm
What
still
was
here.
that? I think I would probably take that guy's coin purse. He doesn't need
Why?
it. He doesn't need it.
He will when he wakes up.
I doubt it.
Why would he not need his money when he wakes up?
Let's just say this. It's incentive for him to cooperate.
Okay. I mean, it could be an hour or more before he wakes up again.
It would be a shame if I used some of his gold.
That would be unethical.
Listen, he was running away from a scene of a crime like he did it.
He's also being chased.
He ran first.
Technically, we do
International
not
sign
have
of guilt.
right. We do
Everybody
not have
knows
any
if you're
proof.
running.
We do not have any proof that he committed the crime. He may be a witness. I agree, it is suspicious. But I don't think we have any cause to take his stuff and rob him.
I agree. We should let his possessions leave his
Right.
possessions on him. That is not honorable.
I mean, we have taken his smoke bomb and his daggers, but I imagined we would give them back if he proves to be no threat. And even then, I feel somewhat hesitant to take his weapon since he did not try to attack us.
Better safe than sorry.
Well, I doubt even if he had his weapon, he could would be in much of a position to outgun us all, so to speak.
He did get knocked out rather easily.
I mean,
Yep.
most
Yeah, but
people
there's
get
like
hit with a flail. They're not gonna be very,
I mean,
but
I mean, in D&D terms, easily.
but yeah, with every swing, there's that 5% chance he just murks somebody with low health.
So while you're standing around this cutter that you found, you chased down, you begin hearing noises over by the dancer that seems to have died. Specifically, you begin hearing voices. Uh, one voice says, "If he ain't dead, he's close enough. Uh, I say we collect him." And then, you hear another voice going, "Oh, whatever power this poor sod worship, look kindly upon the departed spirit of anyone know this sod's name? Oh well, the departed spirit of your servant. Hey, is that a gold tooth?"
I mean, I would head back in that direction hearing this.
Yeah, how far were we away from him?
You got far enough away that it was outside of the range of your lights and outside of the range of the dark vision.
I mean,
Okay.
But I imagine
wouldn't
they
we have
could
gone all the
see
way
us.
back, searching the whole path?
What?
Whenever we searched that path for anything that the guy might have dropped, wouldn't we have gone back to that body?
Well, I thought you meant like you were searching for something that may have been dropped by the people that were running away.
Right, but that was from the spot where we knocked a guy out back to the body.
Oh.
Right.
Well, in the time uh that you guys are spending kind of going over the body before you got a chance to really look backwards towards what may have been dropped. Those are the voices that you begin hearing.
So, but they would see us coming well before we could see them because we're glowing with 2 light spells.
Yeah. They don't seem to mind seeing you guys. They don't seem bothered by it. Um, as you get close enough, you see that it's a group of 6 ragged men dressed in what appear to be the discarded clothes of wealthier folk. Although they also are tattered. Um, and they try to match in terms of black clothing, but not all of their clothing quite matches with the somberness that they seem to be trying to achieve. Um, and they seem to carry themselves with a kind of, you know, they stand up as if they're kind of there's a dignity about them despite their clothing. And they seem to be standing around the dead man lying in the gutter. One of them kind of seems like he's nudging the foot just to check for sure that the sod is dead. Um, and so that's what you see.
Sophisticated checking there, guys. He's dead.
Uh, and then looking up to respond to you is where is he? I'll share the screen. Um, It's a large bugbear. Um, and he says, "Well, we're pretty sure he's dead. Close enough, anyway."
We caught this man who we think may have killed him. He may be dead, but he is dead only a minute or two. He was dancing and having a good old time, talking about Grast and Fraser Blue and Baphomet and other demon lords. Oh, and Fisk.
One of the group actually says, "Wait, is he dead too? Are you guys planning to claim him?" And another one says, "Hey, we found him first. Get your own deader." And then Mourner Tom kind of signals and gets them to quiet down. And that's when those of you who've been in Sigil long enough make the connection that these are the collectors.
We definitely found him first. We just chased after the man we think may have killed him, or been accompanying the man who may have killed him, as there was a second shape of someone who disappeared.
Well, if you find him first, are you planning to take him to the mortuary?
Well, we are going there.
Yes, we were planning on that.
Well,
We can all go together, bros. It'll be
We're
epic.
still-
This is
We're
our
still
job,
needing to get the-
though. This is how we make our coin.
He was spouting my name. I feel it's only fair that I bring him in.
Well, what's fair is not necessarily what's right. By the look of you, you're not from around here.
No, no, I'm not.
We got hard lives living here in the hive. There's not a whole lot of way to make jink. So,
Bro, we ain't coming down on your jink. You can have it. We just need this bro to take to the mortuary. We got questions to ask him, bro. You can come with us.
We still need the names.
wait. Is the man you carry dead or not?
No.
He is not dead.
Well, it's a shame. Could have used that jink too, but I don't imagine we would try to fight you over him.
We appreciate that.
You know, just out of curiosity, why are you carrying that man, and what questions are you planning to ask him?
Well, he seemed to be present when this man died.
It's not like he's going to walk by himself, bro. We got to carry him. He's like unconscious.
Huh. That's weird. Because we've been wondering, we've been seeing bubbers all over the place, just seeming like they fell asleep, but they're dead. Not a mark on them. Very peaceful, that.
It didn't sound like it.
Well,
Yes, he definitely screamed before he was killed.
I've been a collector a long time. I've seen a lot of death. Some ways are better to go than others. Believe me, this is peaceful.
I think he looks peaceful now because he has met the true death. But I don't think his passing from this existence to the true death was as peaceful as you think.
Yeah. I think he's talking about like the people who are just like straight up dismantled. That might be a worse way to go. Might be. I don't know. I've
We
never
don't,
been killed like this man has, so
right, we don't actually know how he died. He may have been in spiritual or mental agony, which can be far worse than physical pain.
I mean, it's at least just as good.
I don't know about all of that. We just find him and take him to the mortuary.
Certainly cleaner.
If that man's not dead and you're not planning to take him, have him put in the dead book, why are you heading to the mortuary?
There are other people who have died recently who we need to visit.
Died around here?
Yes, died here in the hive. All of them, I suspect, died in a similar way to this man, as they were all bashers and bubbers.
Hence why the questioning that's going to happen with this guy.
Well, like I said, we pull a lot of bodies into the mortuary. A lot of Burks and Bashes. Seen a lot of them. Seen a lot of them lately in particular. But my memory's not so good. Maybe if you're caring to pick my mind a bit, could get a little bit clear a bit of the bark away with some
Whoa, now, my bro Dobro has already been propositioned once this evening. We're not into that, but I can't speak for him though. If that's what your angle is.
Dobrun starts sweating immediately.
Are you a Bally Burke? I'm not talking about propositioning. I'm talking about Jink.
Dobrun was just thinking, at least this one doesn't have growths.
What what could possibly be in your memory that we would want?
Well, you're the ones heading to the mortuary. Maybe I could save you a trip. It's not pleasant
That'd be
dealing with
good. That'd be
dusters.
good, bro. Because it's getting late in the evening and this bro needs a solid 8.
Dobrun
You can't.
just looks
And how could
at the
and how could you deny him?
Well, little Jink goes a long way to that beauty sleep, eh?
Some would say it's priceless, bro. So what are you asking?
Well, like I said, come across a lot of bodies. If you got questions, I imagine heading to the mortuary for, then it might be that you're looking to see if somebody joined the dead book. Like I said, we come across all kinds.
Right, bro. Right, bro. My blue skin bro is the one with no ears. I heard you the first time, bro.
Well,
Have you seen
somebody asked,
have you
so I
seen
answered.
have you seen a scrawny there's a scrawny man come in, squinty eyes, big white beard.
Could be. Could be.
Insight.
Sure.
Rolling great on the things I'm not good at.
So I mean, it seems like he might know something. Of course, that might just be he's very good at bluffing.
Mhm.
but it's also very clear that unless you're willing to part with some jink, uh, he's not keen on giving you the dark of things.
Dobrun pulls out two jink, having no idea like what the what he's expecting, but he starts the negotiation at two. This is this
You, you know, it's funny about jink. I mean, it's hard to split jink among friends, and I got 6 of them here. Well, 6 including me.
buy yourselves a nice round.
Not that nice. Most places it's a jink a drink.
You know,
All
just
right,
split it
bro.
up into some electrum.
I pull out 4 jink and add it to the 2. There's a jink a drink, bro. What you got?
Okay. Um, so he puts out his hand. I will say, kiddo, you with your insight check, you also get the sense that he's a pretty honorable guy and he will share what he knows if he's paid.
Hmm. Okay.
Just drop it in. And then Dobrun just stands up and like folds his arms across his chest. So this this guy sound familiar?
Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. I gotta take the dog out real quick.
All right, I'll be right back too. I like to think that Dobrun is holding the unconscious guy in his trunk now, since he's folding his arms.
Number he might be able. He might be able to. Depends on how heavy the guy is. Well, no, he may actually no. He can lift up to 80 pounds with his trunk.
Depends on how scrawny this guy is.
Yeah. If he's very scrawny, he might be able to.
You know, just because it seems like a weird limitation, I think it's fair to say that you can lift as much in your trunk as you could in any one arm.
Fourth arm. I'll
All right, everyone back.
Yep.
So you describe Eliath, and he says, "Yeah, that sounds like a poor cutter we just picked up a few days ago. Picked him up, sent him to the mortuary. He uh he seemed like his death was just as peaceful as this Burke's right here. Didn't seem
Where
to
did
have
you
a mark
find
on him.
where did you find his body?
Not too far away from the Behemoth.
Would you be willing to show us where you found it?
Sure. You guys handle this poor Burke right here? Yeah, we got it, boss. Okay. Yeah, I can show you. Um, so Mourner Tom, uh, on the walk, he kind of introduces himself, gives you a bit of his story. Um, growing up in the hive, scrounging for all that he can, and eventually being able to make a life by becoming a collector. Uh, Nothing that's really of interest to anyone, I imagine. But it's clear that aside from his fellow collectors, he doesn't really talk to many people. Most collectors are kind of outsiders, even among the hive, since people don't really like to interact with those that deal with the dead. But he takes you over, and it's not too far away from the Behemoth, although it's not necessarily in the Behemoth romp community. Uh, and he shows you where he found him. Uh, Much like the dancer, the place that he takes you to is somewhat secluded. Lots of places to slink into the shadows.
As we go, by the way, since it seems like it would be a little bit of a walk, I would show some interest in his story, but I would also ask him if he knew who uh, Master Dalid was, or knew what Ravnica was, or anything about an arcane lens. And I assume the answer is no, but I frequently ask people about this.
Uh, he thinks he may have heard of Ravnica, maybe a couple of the Burks that he's taken to the dusters um might have had things that were from Ravnica. He actually recognizes your Mizium apparatus. Um, so he's encountered individuals from Ravnica, but he doesn't know anything about a lens or this Mizium uh substance that you describe, or anything about the individual you ask about.
So do we get close enough to the behemoth for Dobrun to see it? I don't know what the limit is on his
Hard not
blind
to
sight.
see it.
Well, he's blind beyond a
Oh,
certain range.
Yeah. We get to about 30 feet away, then Dobrun's like,
Well, then it's like
I see
the
it now.
blind scholar seeing the elephant. You can only see a little
You
bit of
can
it.
only see a part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it can he then he sees like the wall kind of come into view. And
So the behemoth
Well,
is like a wall.
that's its
Yeah.
leg. Um,
It's the wall that blocks the path.
Exactly.
But after he shows you where he picked up who he believes is the person that you're describing, uh I mean, you guys could certainly take a walk over to the behemoth. It's probably no more than like 10-minute walk from where you are.
I would want to ask the guy, has the man been this person that you believe might be the one we were looking for? Is he cremated or has he been burned? Or is his
Oh,
body still around?
I have no idea what the dusters do with the bodies. I know sometimes they're burned, sometimes they're sent away. Um, Most of the people that we collect out here in the hive, uh, they don't they don't know people, they don't got any family, they've lost their connections. So I assume most of them get burned. I don't know when they burn them, but that's kind of how I figure it. The other wards, because sometimes me and the other collectors will try and strike out to the other wards. You know, Collecting is tough business. There's a lot of territorial disputes that can go on, but at the same time, collectors do kind of stick together. So there's a sort of rotation where we can get into other wards to do some work. Um, but people don't die as often in those other wards as they do in the hive. So even though it's less pay per body, higher volume of bodies, but I'm sure you're not asking about the economics of collecting.
No, I'm sure it's very fascinating.
No, it is not. Not from the way he described it.
He's just an acquaintance. Uh,
Anyways, you'd have to ask the Dusters what they did with your friend.
do you ever get the names of these people?
Sometimes they have it written in their clothes. Uh, Sometimes they got it tattooed on their bodies. Lots of people here in the hive worry about, you know, dying without anyone remembering them or knowing that they passed. So people try to make sure they have something on them to identify them, but when it comes to the bubbers and barmies, they're not long-term thinkers.
Yeah, definitely a note to self, since I would definitely write like my religion and name somewhere inside my clothes, since I would rather be sent to the proper afterlife and not just burned. Maybe invest in like identification papers. But we
Right.
know at least one person who knew Eliath. We might be able to provide them information on what he would have preferred in the afterlife after true death.
We'll have to get there.
Yes, we should definitely confirm that his name is in the book at the very least. Then we can tell our employer that the man he needs to see is no more.
Yes, it would be good to have a definitive answer.
You may want to see the body if it's still around.
As I think he very well might. I mean, I cannot speak with the dead. but such magic obviously exists.
Indeed.
It is a shame we cannot do that because we might be able to find out what killed all of these otherwise peacefully resting people.
Yeah, if only but somebody could ask.
It is a shame.
Well, I'll be honest. I really hope that, the people that are dying in the hive keep dying this way. It's a lot less gruesome. Makes the work a lot easier.
But have you not heard about Black Shadows or the Black Fiend who is taking souls?
No, can't say that I have. Collectors don't worry so much about how people die, just about getting enough of the body back to the mortuary to get our proper pay.
I was just about to say that if he pays me a few jink, I'll let him know more about the Black Shadow Fiend.
I mean,
So, I mean, I'd look
even if
around.
there is, even if there is somebody like that, seems like they're only really targeting the addled. Uh, I don't count myself among the addle cove, so you know,
I
just
mean,
means
that may
easier
be,
work for me.
That might be for now. What happens when they get bored of that?
or what happens if you become a basher yourself one day? Then there will be no one to defend you.
Well, I'm a bigger guy. I can handle my own. But when it comes to the dark of the dying, collectors tend to know first. If this person decides to change their prey, me and my will know about it and we'll be able to prepare as best that we can.
So I would start looking around just to see if there's any sign of the death of Eliath. Any clues to what happened here that they found the body here?
You can go ahead and give me an investigation check with disadvantage because of the amount of time.
Yep.
Unfortunately, there's been so much time that has passed, and as Mourner Tom mentioned, if this person that he collected was Eliath, um, Eliath didn't have a mark on him, so there would be no blood or any other kind of fluids or sign of struggle.
Is it still raining?
Yes. The rain has lightened up a bit, though.
Doesn't
Now
bother
maybe
me
a
none.
light drizzle.
So I would suggest either we go and get the list of names, or we try to wake up our unconscious friend. Or we're not that far from the Behemoth.
We could go to the original destination and then get your names from your person.
I think we should do that.
Maybe we can set this guy there.
Possibly. He is in need of medical attention at the moment. Very well. Let's go to the gatehouse then.
All right. Well, take care. And Mourner Tom leaves. As you start towards the gatehouse, the person that you're carrying begins to rouse a bit.
Mm.
You can hear him go, whoa.
He's waking up. Do we knock him back out or?
Let's set him down and talk to him. So,
Yeah, well, I guess we're going to surround him.
yeah, exactly. Like we'll find like kind of a spot that's a little bit more conspicuous, but uh, and set him down so he's sitting get against a wall.
So as you do that, he has a couple of wet coughs, and in the light, you notice that a bit of blood is trickling down his mouth.
You're awake.
Oh, this bleeds. Ugh. Oh, God. What do you want with me?
We want answers. What do you know about the man who was killed?
Honestly, I don't know anything.
How about you say everything that you know, what you saw? Hey,
First of all,
some bright spell slingers right here. They'll figure it out.
Look, I ain't no barker.
Well, he's dead. So he ain't barking to nobody.
Yeah. Who are you to protect?
what do you mean?
We have to at least know how you killed him without leaving any marks.
I ain't kill no one.
Not what it looks like.
Can I
Oh,
insight?
I don't really know what you're saying looks like what. All I know is I'm in a place that I didn't remember being to. And,
Well,
well,
we
that's
didn't
it.
want to just leave you there.
Who
Um,
was the bro that was with you?
Utamath, you can roll insight. Uh, I mean, it seems like he's not being fully honest, but it's hard to really know for certain or know why you feel that way aside from the obvious.
So I would follow up then on Chaz's comment and say, yes, where is your accomplice?
Like I said, I ain't a barker. Besides, I'm just some higher sword. You think they tell me anything?
I just the muscle.
I'm not
Well,
even sure why
bro,
they
you
would.
ain't doing too good at that.
No, I'm not, because somebody hit me in my back. It definitely broke a few ribs.
Uh,
Yes, I believe you were hit with the Ace of Mace.
yeah, like listen,
Har.
I know you're not you know, looking to bark here, but really, who do you wish to protect here? You could help us, um, and that could be good. That will most likely go well for you. But the person who was put you on this job, put you in this position. Do you want to continue to be in this position?
Look,
Help us help you.
who's to say I don't bark to you and you get me lost anyway?
That's what a persuasion roll is for.
That's for me to decide.
Listen, and so I'm like, I lead him. I'm like, listen, guy, like these are some bleeding cullies. All right, help me help you. All right.
I ain't looking to get lost, but I really don't think you care. And I really don't think you'll believe me.
Well, now we're even more intrigued.
Well, the truth of it is, I don't know nothing. I know I received some jink. I know I was told in a letter without any name attached to it to meet in a certain place, follow certain people, and make sure that they don't get hurt. So, like I said, I don't think you care. I think you're the type that might decide to put a shiv in in my ribs just to see if maybe the chant changes from my lips.
Bro, you got us wrong.
Yeah,
If we
And if
wanted to put in a shiv, bro, we would have done it.
not if
So
you're
how
looking
much
for
jink did you get paid?
not if you're looking for information I don't have. The only reason you kept me alive is because you think I know something I don't. What happens when it turns out I don't know what you want? What happens when I turn out not to say what I know? Seems to me it's the same fate either way.
You just take
So,
your jink and go on your merry way, bro.
What's the name of the place that we were headed, anyways?
The Gatehouse.
The Gatehouse. I'm like, well, I was just going to say that we would bring you to the Gatehouse for your. Maybe they can help you out here. We didn't.
Yes, you said
We,
you had broken ribs.
yeah, you. I saw the hit. He wasn't trying to kill you. I didn't expect what happened, honestly. Um, You went down awfully fast.
And logically speaking, if you are correct in your assessment of us and you think we'll kill you right here, right now, imagine what we will do if you are of no use whatsoever.
Right.
There are different ways to die.
Bro, that got dark quick, bro.
I mean, I am lying and I am bad at lying, so I should probably just see how bad I am at it. Not as bad as it could have been.
Uh, he's not really in a position to question uh threats failed or not.
Bro, how much you get paid to read a
You,
letter, bro?
you know what? How about this? Let's do this. Clearly, he doesn't want to talk because he feels unsafe. And sure, this is not exactly a safe location. Let's get him to the gatehouse. See if they can help this man out. Unless anybody else knows first aid, because I do not.
I do not. But I agree. Surely you would agree with me, I say to the guy, that we are unlikely to take you to the gatehouse and then murder you in front of the bleakers. So by taking you to the gatehouse, I think we will show that we are not planning on killing you.
Take you to the gatehouse. And maybe my lips loosen a bit.
So I wait for Dobrun to hoist him up again, expecting it to be unpleasant with broken ribs for him to be.
More blood spews from his mouth.
Yep.
He's definitely got a punctured lung.
I can
Motherfucker's
try
gonna die.
I can try to vent that for you.
I so don't worry, bro. And I gently touch his back and give him 1 HP of healing.
Oh, oh, that's nice. Yeah. It still hurts, but not so much.
See, bro, we can be cool.
As he's still up on the shoulders.
Um, so you you get him to the gatehouse and you don't see Kithri, but you see other bleakers about.
So I mean, I would go up to one of them and say, "This man is injured.
Oh, what?
He may have broken ribs, and prior to a little healing, we think he had a punctured lung. He needs a place to rest."
Oh, yes, of course. And they motion to a couple of other bleakers to come and assist.
And I'm like, whichever, like the last one, that's like the straggling person who looks like he's going to follow. I'll just like kind of hold them back and keep an eye on him. He might be a little. We have to ask him some questions. We're not trying to kill him or nothing, but he might try and run.
You should go and ask him the questions now. They can watch over him and help him as best they can, but I don't think they'll be using magic on him, so he will need bed rest. But he can still talk.
Look, he brought me to the gatehouse. I'm being honest with you. Swear to the lady.
Who are you told to follow?
I received 100 ink in a letter
Nice work, bro.
telling me where to go. So I went to the butcher's block, which is where it told me where to go. Met up with some guys I never seen before. A lot of them were wearing masks. And then went out. I looked out. Next thing I know, some dude is screaming. I don't ask questions because that's not my job. I was lookout. Then we head off. We hear yous chasing us. So we took off. And unfortunately, I was the poor sod that got left behind. So
My friend saw you running with another man. How did the other man disappear? Did he use magic?
I would have to assume.
Did they use magic to kill the man who was dancing?
Like I said, I wasn't paying attention to that. I was looking out, making sure nobody else came around.
Any of these bros you were with, did they use the name Mitch?
You mean that ugly ogre's little skin thing?
Hi, bro.
I told you I was at the butcher's block. That's her place. So yeah, I heard Mitch. I thought it was weird.
Hi, me too, bro.
Mitch is actually her conjoined twin who separates and goes out to murder.
Right. He's the one running he is the BBG.
She is actually just the growth on Mitch.
Yep, yep.
In the last episodes, you'll learn that it's actually Mitch Connors.
Yes. So I give him back his daggers
Oh,
and then turn and say to Cadeau, I guess we can give him back his money.
wow. I
Now
wasn't
I
expecting that.
start to walk away. Well, Cadeau hasn't motioned that he's handing over the purse.
No, but
Yeah, I
even
gotta
getting
let you-
back his daggers.
I mean, I believe he answered our questions to the best of his ability, so he may need his daggers. They're not my
Mhm.
property.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'll be a little annoyed about it. And I it's just like hand him the coin. I'm like, listen, you're not cut out for this. Make that make that jink last, okay?
Do you want to try and sleight of hand some of the coins out of the purse?
Oh, I did that beforehand. Not a lot, not a lot, like 10. I remember how much was in there again. Was it the full 100
30.
that he? Oh, it
30.
was just 30. 5. I'll take 5 out of there.
Bro, make sure you count it, bro. You got it all.
I ain't even worried about it. I thought for sure once I got nicked that you were gonna get me lost, so I'll take it all as All I got is a blessing.
But if you level up, come see us.
And with that, you see Kithri coming to give you some names, and why don't we wrap it up there for tonight?
When we finally do get back to the office, Uthermeth is going to cry himself to sleep, having learned that Dobrun, the handsomest of the Loxodonts that he's ever seen, has taken a vow of chastity. For all this time, I've been secretly hoping.
Wow.
He
It
too
could be a vow
fantasizes
of
about the trunk.
chastity against Odin.